Hey friends, I'm back with another message here. So this message is going to be pretty simple, straightforward here. And this is coming from a dream that I had last night. I was pretty tired. I actually fell asleep until about 10:30. I was still tired, but it took me a while before I go back to sleep. But anyways, I was given a dream, and through this dream, I will not share that dream because it's very personal and intimate. And the way the Lord did it all, the way He showed me, it's just completely personal to me. But basically the message is people are going to be very curious about you. Okay, they're going to be very curious about you, and when you reach your promised land, they're going to be very curious. They're going to want to know maybe how. Like, how did this even happen? And I want to just speak to you and encourage you that you don't owe anybody any information. You don't owe anybody any information. That when the promises of God manifest in your life, you don't owe people any information. That's your story. God gave you that promise. They weren't in the conference room. They didn't have to go through what you went through to fight for that promise. They didn't have to do it. You did. You know how hard it was for you. So you don't owe anybody anything. Because all it does is open up for attack. That's all it does. Sometimes this life, it's too people-y out there. It's too people-y out there, meaning too many people have an opinion about you, concerning you. Too many people have an opinion about you. But it doesn't matter what other people think. When God gives you a promise, that's your promise. They don't have to know what you went through. If you're standing for kingdom marriage, they don't need to know what happened between you and your spouse. They don't need to know. They don't need to know the hard parts, the vulnerable parts. They don't need to know it. When they start asking questions, they don't need to know, okay? Because that's your story. It's between you, your spouse, and God. So just be mindful of what you say. But I just want to encourage you one more time. You don't owe anyone any explanations. Okay? Only you know how hard this has been on you. Only your spouse knows how challenging it was for them too. And when you walk into your promised land, connected to your spouse, just keep that reconciliation quiet. The Lord has shown me many, 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 many dreams of keeping it quiet. Because in the beginning stages, it feels a little bit vulnerable. You're connecting with your spouse again, and you're building trust with one another, and you're starting something really beautiful with one another, and you want to protect it, okay? Because other people can ruin it. Now, if you really reflect on, maybe you've had children. Maybe you've had opportunities where, you've shared like, oh, this is the name. This is the name, or I'm pregnant, and then other people might have an opinion about that. They might be pretty negative about that. They might be negative about the name because they've got such an opinion about the name. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it gets too people-y out there. When you start your journey with your spouse here, it's your journey. People don't need to know. They don't need to know what's going on with you two. It's just between you and your spouse here. That's why it says in the Bible, when you are to leave your father and mother and you're supposed to join with your spouse here. That's why that scripture is about. Because you don't have to put your mess and you don't have to share everything with everyone. You don't have to share your problems with everyone that happened inside your marriage. It's between you and your spouse and God. You don't need need to vent to other people about what's happening in your marriage. You don't need to vent to anyone about anything concerning your spouse. Keep it between you and God and your spouse. All right. I wasn't planning on going there, but I'm just saying, friends, that it gets too people-y out there. Everybody has an opinion about something. But when it concerns you and your story and your promise, you don't owe anybody any explanation. Okay? And you got to hold your head up high and you got to be bold on that. Because you know how hard it was on you. You know. So, I'm just forewarning you, friends. I'm just preparing you. I'm already ready. I'm already ready. See you next time, friends.